Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like. Today we're going to be talking about this story of two 17-year-olds, one a Karmelo Anthony and the decedent a Austin Metcalf. Now this situation, unfortunately, well, it's not a situation, it's a murder, alleged murder happened in Frisco, Texas. And of course, anytime anything occurs between, black people and white people, what have you, the race topic will come up. Now, I thought I'd bring a little bit of funny before we talk about something serious. You can see that there's shirts and hoodies in support or in, against, the 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony. Jason Whitlock has kind of chimed in on it. And I posted a couple other tweets I thought were interesting, to say the least, to read. Again, anything that happens between black people and white people, race comes up. It's just going to come up. Stereotypes come up. Generalizations come up. And this is just kind of where we are in the country. So I wanted to provide a different perspective. Obviously, someone is deceased. I'm not going to post any photographs from Austin Metcalf or his family, just out of respect, because, again, this is 17 years old. He's a minor. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us. And just out of respect, I won't be posting him. We'll just be mainly talking about Karmelo Anthony. Now, there was a track meet in Frisco, Texas. And for those who have never, been to a track meet, it kind of has areas for certain teams or families. You kind of camp out and hang out because track meets can be all day, depending on, what event your loved one is partaking in. So we're not exactly sure why Karmelo was underneath the tailgating area of another person's tent, but we're going to take a look here.
Hey, you're a very personal guy.
Thank you,
I can
bro.
tell, talking to you right now, you're a good dude.
Thank you, bro.
And you're no matter what you do, even if God forbid this doesn't work out, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be a good dude.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Alright, so let's say we are gonna watch one of your videos tonight. What would it be? Give me one.
What you say, bro?
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
Right, maybe. A little more to the right. See the TV at least.
Nah.
Yeah, this is our tailgate, so a little more to the right so I can see the fucking TV.
Oh shit. Hey, bro, you don't gotta talk to him like that, bro. He didn't.
I'm just saying, maybe.
Hey, can you just move, bro? Please.
No, hey, bro, it's okay. Just move.
He doesn't mean like.
It's okay, move, but
I don't mean to be a
but I know, but you ain't to talk to him like that. No. I'm saying this my guy though, bro. Like, no, bro. You cursed at him and stuff, bro.
Hey, we're good.
All you had to say was, hey, bro, can you please move?
Hey,
This is respect, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, no. He don't mean it like that.
Is he drunk? Is he drunk?
I don't know, but maybe.
I just don't like disrespect, bro. He can talk to me like that. Don't talk to him like that. He just doing his job.
Hey, we're good. Hey,
let's just respect each other, bro. For sure.
I'm not trying to be.
No, yeah.
You cussed at him, bro.
Bro, he's in the fucking way the TV is my tailgate. I can
But
tell
you didn't have to cuss at him though, bro. He's not a child, bro.
What's the problem?
No, he just,
Hey, back up. What's the problem?
no, he just cussed him out, bro. And I was like,
He said y'all get up. He asked you to get
no.
up. Hey, what's the problem?
Is he drunk? Because if he's drunk, then it's okay. I'm
What's the
not.
problem?
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
No, nobody was arguing with him or nothing. He just cursed at him like he was a child. And I was like, hey, bro, you don't
Okay, it's
disrespect
over, buddy.
everybody, you know?
Thank
No,
you.
I'm just explaining to you what happened.
Okay. I
For sure.
appreciate it.
For
Good.
sure.
Have a good day.
For sure.
Don't walk up.
I'm not walking towards him. I'm walking that way.
So obviously that's not the entire interaction. That's just what we, have been privileged to see, if you will, if we can say privileged. There was something that took place beforehand. Maybe something was brewing before. We obviously don't have footage of the actual incident that took place, but we can see something transpiring in terms of Austin asking or demanding, however you want to put it, for the cameraman that was filming Karmelo to get out of the way. Now, he didn't say it politely, but, I'm not here for the semantics of it all. He said what he said. And Karmelo kind of responded like, hey, curse at me, don't curse at him, and he's kind of asking, I guess his family members or friends, whoever was underneath the tailgate, is he drunk? What's going on? If he's drunk, I'll excuse it. Whatever the case may be. So maybe perhaps in his mind, he was handling what he thought was a mature fashion by saying, hey, if he's drunk, I'll let it slide. But nonetheless, and this is just someone who's older. If you're feeling like that kind of energy in an area, you just move. Like when you get older, it's like, for one, I wouldn't be underneath anybody else's area unless I, had expressed consent, unless I was told, hey, come chill, hang out with us, whatever the case may be. And so we're not sure what happened beforehand, or if he invited himself over, or if someone invited him over. We don't have the entire story as of yet. We just know that something took place where allegedly, well, I'm not going to say allegedly because he did provide a police statement that he did it. Speaking of Karmelo, Karmelo did, unfortunately, stab Austin Metcalf, and Austin, unfortunately, did not live through this particular incident. And so I can go all day talking about the actual incident. Like, it was a murder. Why did he have a knife at a track meet? But I want to look at it from a different perspective, because the case is extremely new. Charges, of course, have been filed. But I don't want to get into the actual trial before it takes place. And I'll definitely do a video on that. But I want to look at it from this type of perspective. And this is a really touchy subject as a woman of color, as a Black woman in America. Someone who has, interracial relationships in my family, definitely respected, have no issue with interracial dating or anything like that. But I want to look at it from this perspective, the perspective of colorism, and also mainly the desire for the proximity to whiteness. Again, this is a very touchy subject. So I'm going to try to approach it respectfully from all fronts as best as I can. So when I look at the video, I see a young Black male in seemingly an all-white tent, meaning that I don't see any other Black people around, just from what I've gathered from the video. It's him, and I'm not sure if the cameraman is Black or white. We don't, see any footage of him. Of course, he's behind the camera. But I see a young Black male completely surrounded by white people, okay? No issue there, right? But there is a part of me, and it's something that happens in not just Black culture, but in, as I understand and been told, from Indian culture, Mexican culture, all the way down into the Caribbean, the desire for whiteness, the desire for, to assimilate into white society, if you will. And not saying that that's what he's doing, but this is just going to be my, half-assed, if you will, take on it. So he's there. He's the only Black kid there, only Black person there in that tent, in that particular area, from what we can see. And something happens when you're the odd one out, right? Something happens when one of these is not like those. And so what I'm wondering is if he felt some sort of self-esteem issue, where one, he's like, the ego, he's trying to assimilate. He wants to, hang around white people or whatever the case may be. And so he's already feeling maybe a bit unsure of himself. And then someone comes along and says, hey, you need to move. And however he said it is how he said it. I'm wondering if it was like a double attack, not just to, you can say the manhood, the masculinity part, right? Like he's, bravado, some guy telling you, hey, move the bleep out the way, or tell your person to move the bleep out the way. If it's a masculine thing, like, hey, nobody talks to me or my, camp, my people like that, whatever. And it's some of that I'm trying to assimilate into this whiteness, this proximity to Anglo-Saxons. And now I'm being challenged on both fronts, and we do typically see that. We see when you're not fully yourself and you're not fully respecting yourself and loving yourself, that insecurity tends to spill over, and it exemplifies situations that could easily be resolved. It's like fighting to belong somewhere where you're not wanted, What I have noticed, particularly in the Black culture, is that a lot of times when you do see interracial dating, you do see like a darker skinned Black male with a fairer complected, white woman, or, a Latino woman, what have you. But it's like definitely going to be, if I'm extremely dark, then the person I'm dating, if I'm interracial dating, is going to be completely physically opposite. They're going to be white, as white as possible. You rarely see fair complected Black men interracially dating. I just haven't. And I've noticed that like over several years, decades, if you will. A lot of times you do see a darker skinned Black male, white woman. And there's a part of me, and yeah, you love who you love, right? You meet somebody, you fall in love, and that's great. But there is a part of me that wonders, is it when they look in the mirror, and they are speaking to darker skinned Black males and see this darker skin, that it's feels, is there a hatred there? Is there a dislike, a disgust, an uncomfortable feeling of, look how dark I am, I don't want my kids to be this dark, And I've never been in the skin of a Black male, so I can't tell you what, or a male period, right? So I can't tell you the challenges that, Black men face, the interactions, this, microaggressions. As a Black woman, I definitely have felt microaggressions. But I can't tell you what that feels like from a male perspective because I'm a woman. But I do wonder, is it like something internalized that you're trying to fix? Trying to erase or get rid of, or, make it better. And again, you do see this, it's not just, specific to Black culture or American Black culture, but you see it in other, like with the Indian caste system. Yes, a lot of it is colorism. They like to kind of, it's part colorism and it's part, wealth. But a lot of it, in the majority of it, really is colorism. Darker skin Indians, those from India, I'm speaking about, not the whole, incorrect terminology of Native Americans, Indians. I'm talking about people from India that have darker skin complexions are viewed as lesser than in their own culture. But if you're a fair complected Indian, you'll get further, you'll look better, they say you're prettier. The same thing with, the Korean culture, the same thing, across the board, it's like fairer complexion is best. So I'm wondering if there was some type of psychological issue, that Karmelo was experiencing, some internal battle. Now you can say, yeah, you murdered somebody, right? You allegedly murdered somebody. Yeah, that's something psychologically wrong with you, I'll give you that. But is there something deeper? Is it because he was over in this area wanting to, again, have that proximity to whiteness? I don't want to be where, I'll pull the cover, I'll pull the cover off on this one, or rip the Band-Aid off. There are some people within Black culture that do not want to associate with other Black people. They just don't. They don't want to be around other Black people. They don't want to live or eat or go to school or, socially interact. Even in the workplace, you'll, often we'll see, probably 2 or 3 Black people that don't talk to anybody else that's Black, Everyone they speak with, have interactions with, go to lunch with are non-Black persons. And so I'm wondering if that's what was going on. And then to feel that sense of rejection, feeling like his pride was being questioned because you're telling my friend or, camera person to move in a not so polite way. I'm wondering if that's what the issue, if that was part of the issue. And yeah, you can bring up, well, a lot of people are trying to say that it's self-defense. Again, I don't know. We don't have the whole video. That'll be tried in court. But I'm just wondering from a psychological perspective, what was really going on. Again, one of these is not like those. He's the only Black person over there that we can see from the video. So what was really going on? And was it really that he felt rejected or questioned or, that's kind of my take on it. And so I'm definitely going to be watching and see how this plays out. I'm wondering from the tweets that I saw, half in support, half against Karmelo. Some saying, I'm not gonna say what they said. It's so terrible. Again, these are 2 17-year-old kids who, in 4 or 5 years, they could have looked back on this situation and laughed, right? But that's the thing. When you get older, you kind of, you learn and you're smarter. You handle things differently. So I'm definitely going to be watching and seeing how this is going to play out. I will piggyback partially on a tweet that I showed you earlier in the video, where one of the person said, Carmelo Anthony's out on bail, and no one's looting, no one's murdering, basically saying, white America is handling this way better than if the roles were reversed. Because if it was Austin Metcalf that stabbed and killed Carmelo Anthony, and he got, bail and was home, awaiting trial, that Black people would be out looting and wrecking havoc. And I have to say, we have seen that, and that's just the race card that America likes to play. And I wonder, does it ever get tiresome on both ends, And I'm not on some whole Rodney King, can't we just all get along? But at what point do we just start looking at things like mature, responsible, mentally well adults, right? Not speaking anything ill about those who may have mental health challenges, but at what point do we just call a thing? At what point we just say, this is right across the board or this is wrong across the board, Anyway, that's going to be my take on that. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like. I'm going to be following this trial, this whole story intensively, so stay tuned here.